everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. The biggest challenge for these teams here may be dealing with the weather. Rain is falling, the field is slick, and it's not going to get any better as the game goes on. It'll be messy out there. It's the Colts going up against the Seahawks. What a surprise here. There's rain in Seattle as we're off to CenturyLink Field to link up with our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, no trip to the Northwest is really complete without a little rain, and we're going to get plenty of it here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback now in his 6th season out of Stanford. Here's Andrew Luck.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Here's the first carry now for Frank Gore. And he'll get this one up to the 26. A gain of 3, second down. See if they stay on the ground for second down. Here's Luck. And right away, he lost the football. And he'll be brought down around the 7-yard line. And hopefully for both sides, not a sign of things to come, Charles. This morning, it was so perfect outside, but we knew this weather was coming, and we see the effects of it here early on.
And I wonder if how perfect it was this morning has psychologically fooled everyone. You know, it's almost like even though we were told the weather was coming, and you know the teams knew it as well, then maybe they got fooled and thought, it's going to be okay. And now they're probably a little upset that it's out there.
Because warm-ups were dry.
Oh, well, dry, and now you've got to make the change up, and it's the first quarter. Might take them a little time to settle in on their focus and concentration.
Red zone opportunity. So now it's 1st and goal. They'll try to pound it in with Lacy. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
Call it a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal. They'll run it with Lacy. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
This drive started with 1st and goal. Now that it's 4th and goal, anything less than a touchdown would feel like a letdown to me.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Here we go with Lacy. They tried to pound it in with Lacy. He comes up short, and his Colts defense comes up with a goal line stand. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Luck now on 2nd down. Throw left side complete. It's Doyle. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. 8 yards there, getting him out of danger. It's a 1st down.
We always look for breakout seasons, and Jack Doyle had one in 2016. 59 catches. But he didn't have that in the previous 3.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Bobby Wagner in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gore. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 11 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the 1st quarter. Bounced it out to the outside to make it successful.
And to get there, you actually need some help. It's not just your pure speed getting to the corner, making sure that the blocking is taken care of inside so the pursuit doesn't get you. And oftentimes, those
pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Cliff Averill in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
Hey, a simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. He got 29 yards that time. I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football. Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. Wilson on the draw. He'll give to Lacy. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down. When you take a look at Eddie Lacy, you expect the run we just saw, don't you? A battering ram type of an effort. Absolutely. Such a tough runner in Alabama where he won those national championships, and a tough runner here in the NFL. And they've got it here with a 1st down. They stay on the ground on 1st down with Lacy. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Lacy with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic. And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. Quan Bray now to return this football. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Frank Gore and company trotting back out there as they get set to go again on offense. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games.
And the Seahawks defense gets to him and they bring him down. Bobby Wagner in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated.
There goes Frank Gore. He's at the 50. And all the way down to the 39. A huge play that time for the Colts. 43 yards. So he rips off a great run and shows you why this year he's top 10 in rushing in the league.
And looks like he's trying to move up fast on the leaderboard, doesn't he? Top 10, looks like he's trying to get into the top 5.
Going again here on first down. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Now Luck. Under pressure and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Bobby Wagner in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Back to throw. Luck. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Bobby Wagner, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the...
And he'll go down in the end zone. Down goes Wilson. It's a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt. And if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
Taken in at the 22. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him, they've sat back, think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. Now Luck, and unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
The best receivers we know always tease their quarterbacks that, hey, no matter what you do, you cannot overthrow me. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened on that play. Normally, they time it up pretty well, but on that one, he just overshot him.
Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. Third down now.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
That's caught at the 25. And a big 32-yard play on third. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there.
At some point, the doubters have to just kind of back off with Doug Baldwin, don't they? I mean, we talk about back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, had over 90 catches in 2016. He's going to play with a chip on his shoulder, but he's going to be productive.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On second down, here's Locke. Drops it underneath to Gore. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On first down, Locke. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now Luck says let's get going as he'll hustle him to the line. To throw on second down is Locke. And the reception made by Dante Moncrief. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march. Luck on first down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Now the Colts will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. From the gun, here's Locke. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And he's brought down. Luck able to find Hilton there for a Colt first down.
Led the NFL with 1,448 yards in 2016. The first Colt to do so since Reggie Wayne in 2007. How about this guy? He's been something.
Yeah, 4 straight years now over 1,000 and 3 straight Pro Bowls for T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, what I love about him, inside, outside, he can work it all.
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. The Seahawks right now are doing a good job protecting their house. The Colts haven't played horribly, but will need to improve if they want to win this one. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Down to early in the second. Lacy's going to stay between the tackles, and a quick 3-play drive ends with a score as they take a 7-0 lead. First and 10, Russell Wilson finding the little motor scooter, Tyler Lockett, and this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown. That takes the lead up to 12. Colts have it late in the second. Luck here on the money to his receiver, Dante Moncrief, and he'll be tackled at their own 48-yard line. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. For the second half kickoff, let's get you back up to Seattle and Brandon Guy.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They run it again with Lacy. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Antonio Morrison leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Play action. Now Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
4th down. Here's Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Colts are going to take over with a football. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I.
Blitz coming And down he goes. Bobby Wagner in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Locke. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. Complete. Richardson has it. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
He's going to air this out for Baldwin, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
He's going to air that. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And that one makes this a 19-point game. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A shotgun snap for Locke. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Third and long. It's Lockett. Looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
So it's third and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they're bringing an extra defensive back and just blanking the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Defense.
Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all. And it's been a long day for this crowd waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter. Following the penalty now, Lacy. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slip.
And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Lacy with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Seahawks capitalize on this short field as they take it in for 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Michael Bennett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Over the middle, complete. That's Doyle. The reception good for 7. It's third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing on third down, Lock. And that is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Doug Baldwin and company getting ready to go again on offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And incomplete. Probably should have had that one, but with the game he's having tonight, maybe they'll let it go.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action.
He's got him in. Complete. 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. You can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to. Because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline and puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
They go with the screen to Gore. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st down, it's Lockett. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Kamar Aiken, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. 2nd and 10, Luck again. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
To the air again, Luck. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On third down, here's Lacy. Skirts by him at the 35. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Wilson wants to throw it. It's caught outright by Graham. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
You having fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the masterclass right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. On 1st and 10, Locke. And he fires one that's intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point try now for Walsh. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And this will likely be the last play and wrap things up.
What's left? What's left? Let's pick it up. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
One last throw here for Locke. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys who's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Seahawks, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.